skimp because what I want to do is basically set the tone. One of the first things I want to do is make you a little bit more comfortable with me. You have to know that I can't be insulted very easily. I've been called a loon, I've been called an idiot. You know, a PhD, a turkey with a PhD is still a turkey. And I'm reminded of that plenty of times because my wife has a cup that says that right on it. It keeps me grounded. The other thing is you can get angry with me. I will almost never deliberately reflect that anger because I don't share your background. You have a background that I don't have. If you get angry, it's because everything in your background says get angry. I'm looking at my background and says I have nothing to be angry with this guy about, so I'm not going to reflect it. So it's not that I don't care, it's the fact that I've separated it. Let me give you one example of how important it is to look at your background. I'm going to make a statement that every Democrat, every Republican, every pro-gun, and every anti-gun person is going to agree with. Our carry and conceal laws have gone too far. Hillary Clinton said that. You know what? It doesn't matter who you are, you have to agree with that. The difference is, you're coming from Hillary Clinton's perspective, your gun rights are civil rights. They come from the state, they've gone too far, too many people have guns, we've got to take those rights away. And if you're on the pro-gun side, your gun rights are constitutional rights. No one can take them from you. Even the state is not supposed to take them from you because they would be infringing. So gun laws have gone too far. The question is, which side are you coming from? There's the issue. Now we have political philosophy to deal with. That's what we're here for. We're here because of political philosophy. Over history, people began realizing that people should be free. The French Revolution was fought on the same principles that our country was founded on. The difference was they didn't have a foundation written down that they could back up. So they defaulted within a year or two to a monarchy. The U.S., when we revolted in our revolution, we created a constitution. It was a stake in the ground saying that this is the way we want to live. And our forefathers were smart enough to know that not only do you have to divide the power, you have to have a check over the budget, and you also have to have financial barriers in that budget to prevent the tyranny that the three other worldviews will always lead to, because they can be imposed by force if they have control of the wealth of the nation. They put those barriers in there. There was never supposed to be a direct tax on income ever in this country. Our good old friend Abe Lincoln took us into an aggressive war against a country that had already formed a government, an army, an economic system, and a currency, and we invaded it. To pay for all that expense, he implemented an income tax. Temporarily, the U.S. Supreme Court looked the other way. 20 years, 1881 rather, it ran out. Congress got used to that income tax. So what happened was in 1894 they implemented income tax, and 1896 the U.S. Supreme Court said no, that's unconstitutional. So the Democrats and Republicans are really smart. What they did was say, we're going to pass a bill authorizing Congress to issue a tax, send it out to be ratified. We're not going to implement it at all until it's ratified. Ratified in 1913, 1916, the U.S. Supreme Court reviewed it and said, you know what? Income tax is still unconstitutional. A bill that you sent to the states trashed the Constitution, destroyed the barriers, basically threw the doors to tyranny wide open, but now it's a law of the land. And 5 times they've said that. Obamacare was the last time where they actually said everything about the bill, including the tax, is unconstitutional, but the Supreme Court can't change the law of the land. Only Congress, at the insistence of the people, can. That's why the New Deal went through, same words from the Supreme Court. Johnson's Great Society, the NDA Act, the Obamacare, 5 times, exact same words, it's still there. What happened? America went, oh, I think there's a baseball game on, we'll go watch. That's great, but we're here now because the U.S. Constitution was set up for men of goodwill to do the right thing. That's our philosophy. We want to be free people and do the right thing. Well, we have a job. Our job is actually cut out for us quite dramatically. My vision, this is a vision I hope that this party will embrace, is to be the largest, most respected political party in New York State by 2019. We can do that. I really believe it. Our mission is very clear. Our goal, this party, is to get people elected to office. Nothing else changes until that happens. We're going to battle like crazy to get candidates on the ballot and into office, and if we don't succeed, we haven't gone anywhere yet. But we have milestones. And in these milestones, we have 62 counties. The little blue line shows you about where we are right now. The little light blue is where we've accomplished this year. 50,000 enrolled Libertarians, but we only have 5,000. We're only 1/10 of the way there. But 50,000 is just a milestone. It is not the goal. Recognize an official party in New York State, regardless of how it happens, whether we get them to change law as to being registered with the party and the number, certain number, or whether we have to get a certain number of votes. Whatever the Board of Elections puts out there for our goal, we want to attain that. New York State Assembly, Senate, and gubernatorial candidates elected. The LPNY is responsible for the state offices. I was talking to Mike McDermott when he called me yesterday, and he said that he is determined, even without the LPNY help if necessary, to get people elected in Suffolk County this coming year. And I said, Mike, it's your job to get those people into office. It's not our job. Our job is to focus on the state and the four positions at the state level and the federal level. That's the LPNY's job. Sure, we can help out with the other levels, but that's not our job to select those people and to help them get their campaigns off the ground. That's what the chapters are. And the control of the New York State Legislature, that comes right after we elect the governor. This is what we started with back in 2015. And what happened was all these big multi-county, we're down here, multi-county chapters, they were formed because there wasn't enough people in one area. It wasn't because they were being magnanimous and all these people flocking together. They were desperate to bring people in. They formed multi-county chapters. What I focused on when I became chairman was single county chapters. My experience with Monroe County is that they don't get out there and help the other counties. I don't think once this year we've ever gone to the other counties, with the exception of Ontario. I went to the fair and organized the fair there. But Orleans County, we haven't been there at all. Matter of fact, Orleans County, there isn't even an LPNY member. Should that county still be part of the Greater Rochester Party chapter if there's no members in the county from the LPNY? This is a situation that's happening in the Capital District. It's not happening down in the Hudson Valley. They got the other problem, which I'll talk about in a minute. So this is what I projected that we would look like by April 2017. But preparing for this meeting, what I ended up doing was made a very rational assessment of what we actually look like. We actually look like this. I believe Ulster Gary Treisman's here, and he would verify this. I believe that all their meetings are for the Hudson Valley. Gary, they're all in Ulster. Have you ever carried a meeting out in either Orange or...
We have our meetings in Ulster County.
Pardon?
We have our meetings in Ulster County.
They're all in Ulster, yeah. See, so what's happening is people have to come to Ulster. Where's the service to the other counties? I would like to see these multi-county chapters break up as soon as they can. I'd like to see them develop a program to actually do that, because each of these counties, people from New York State don't realize this, but each of these counties have anywhere from 150 to over 350 elected offices in every county. And one chapter just can't handle that kind of a load. I mean, take 150 times 5 or 150 times 8 around the capital district. There's a lot of elected positions for just 6, 8, 10 people to basically try to find people to serve. So we need to break it up, and we have grown some. If you notice, we have now Spiegel, that wasn't there. We have Warren, that wasn't there. We didn't lose Saratoga. But we are growing, and what I would like to do is to continue that growth. But here's an assessment of what we're working with. The numbers along the side of the counties are the numbers of LPNY members present. What you have to look at is around this area here, right up through there, all these white counties have 0, 1, 2, or 3 people in them, right here. It's not until you get to Jefferson County that you start going up, and Jefferson doesn't have any. Wait, no, 1, 2, they're up there. There's the counties that are down around here. Then if you take the center region, all except from 2 counties over to the east, that's these counties here. Oswego is, Oswego, Grove, and Oneida are now at a point where they actually become a viable chapter. I believe Charles Millar in Oneida is actually going to be having an inaugural convention soon. Shauna in Broome County is 9 LPNY members. She should be able to pull together a inaugural convention, and I'm looking forward to that happening fairly soon too. Going over to the east side of the state, we have a whole series up in the north and even down toward the south that are very bare in terms of LPNY members. So what I want to call your attention to is that over here, Ulster has 17 members in blue. And if you look up there, the other 2 Sunderland, so Orange and Dutchess, are 8 and 9. They have enough LPNY members to form a chapter. The Albany, 15 members. Schenectady has 12. Columbia, Rensselaer, 3 and 6. Schoharie 1 and Greene 0. Is the lady from Schoharie here today? Yeah, there you are. Hello. Yeah, she makes 2. She just joined yesterday.
Yes. Lifelong Libertarian.
And she indicated that she's interested in forming a chapter in Schoharie. One person can do it, because if you look over here at Wayne County had 2 people, well, not Wayne, Wyoming County, had 2 people this year, went down to 1 LPNY member, and Jim Wanke has indicated that he has 7 people plus himself. He's going to be organizing an inaugural convention soon. So we are growing, but we are very limited in terms of our membership. We have to start asking people to join the LPNY. Every chapter, when you hold your meetings, ask your members to join the LPNY, ask them to join National. National is important because our vote totals in New York State were down dramatically compared to the rest of the country. And with the split with the Independence Party and the LPNY, we're 1/3 of what we should have been. And it's going to impact the number of delegates we get to send to the National in 2 and 4 years from now, because it's partially based on the total vote counted and by the members. So the only way we can make up that difference is increase our members now, because we're going to start losing because of the total vote count. But what we have here is the next slide is the actual registrations of LPNY voters. You can take a look at your county. I'm not going to dwell on it, but this is our base. This is how strong we are. When you're talking about 150 positions in a county like Warren, it only has 2 registered Libertarians. Now these numbers hopefully will change next week when I get the new update, because a lot of people joined the registered Libertarian that I don't have on displayed on this year. So it'll be interesting to see how these change. But these numbers are not going to stimulate anyone to go out and become a candidate. 2,000 people in a town, and you only have 1, 11, 12 registered libertarians. That's not even enough to run a campaign, let alone win an election. So we have a problem. We've got to build our base. Okay, we have some barriers to growth that I want to talk about today. These are the barriers that are going to be sensitive. If you feel like you're upset, go ahead and use whatever language you want. Just remember the ladies present. I'm not going to reflect your anger. I realize these are barriers that we have to address. Political affiliation of the LPNY and chapter officers. It is a barrier. Whenever somebody goes into a chapter and they find out that the chapter is run by a dedicated Republican, we have a chapter where that's actually happening. Nothing happened as far as the LPNY, as far as the Libertarian Party activities, the entire campaign. And the chapter is struggling because people don't want to come to a meeting run by a Republican dedicated to the cause. This is the problem. We have to start insisting that our officers are registered libertarians so that we can tell the world this is our guy. We don't believe it, go look at the Board of Elections records and they'll confirm that they're libertarian. Endorsement and running non-LBT candidates. We cannot endorse non-registered libertarians. It's in the national bylaws. It can be blank, but they can't be affiliated with another party. We got to address that this year. No top-down management authority. My problem is that I can't do anything. When I see people struggling, I can't tell them anything. I can't give them instructions. I don't have the ability. I didn't have the ability to step into Saratoga and ask them to organize a convention so they could elect new officers. We had to let them collapse. I can't do anything about these other counties, the chapters that might collapse because I don't have the authority. There should be something, yeah.
I want to go back to the endorsement and running of non-libertarian candidates you brought up. I think that's a really big problem that, again, we're accustomed to doing because they're liberty-minded. It's a very common thing that we do. I think it does hurt us on more levels because if we start doing that, we stop looking within. We start looking without and saying, well, this Democrat, this Republican, this Independent.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
We'll get into this because I just want to cover a couple more things first. No candidate campaign organizational structure in the LPNY. We saw that this year. People down in Suffolk were basically on their own. We didn't have even a function inside that we could help them out with. And we start from scratch every year. This is a real problem.
Every 2 years.
No, every year. When I started a year ago, I started from scratch. There was no real organization.
We have this 2-year cycle.
Well, we're in a 2-year cycle, but it doesn't matter when the chairman comes in, he starts from scratch.
Yeah.
And so, okay, but we have progressed, and I want to go through this kind of quick. This is the progression of number of chapters that I would like to see happen. And we're doing it. We started increasing here, 2015, 2016, 2017. We're going to grow this organization. We are going to have a chapter in every county, thanks to the help of Jim Rosenbeck and his crew, Mark Glogowskim and Sean Hammond. They're out there contacting potential PCCs and helping them get moving. So if you know anyone that even is interested in another county chapter, just touch base with Jim. We also made some progress here. When I became chairman, the number of officers and state committee people that were registered libertarians was under 20%. At least now, the officers and state committee members were hitting maybe 60% of the officers, 45%. But this was before the election. I believe this is going to change dramatically this year because several people indicated that they just submitted their registration forms and they're not on the queue. We have made some progress in terms of the actual LPNY members themselves, 2016 and 2017. That will probably change dramatically too after we get the new data. This is what we have to do. This is what I believe we have to do. Right now, this year, we are 5,000 LBT registered voters. What I want to do is increase that to 50,000, so that by 2018, we are 200,000. That's not a trivial task. If you've ever tried asking people to register Libertarian, you know. I mean, if you're registered Democrat or Republican, you ask somebody to register Libertarian, they're going to scratch their head and think you're crazy and they're not going to do it. They don't want to be associated with somebody, and it's that important. Why did you do it? So I don't expect anyone that's registered with another party to ever successfully get somebody to register Libertarian. So first thing you have to do is register Libertarian yourself. If you look at the little envelopes that display the envelopes, yeah, well, my wife will hand out an envelope. In there is basically a letter that I've been sending to people. First off, telling them how to make a decision as to what they are, giving them a reason to do it, and then I gave them an application to the LPNY and a voter registration form. We have to grow the party, and you have to do it. Basically, if you don't do it, it's not going to be done. If we get to 2018, this is like a minuscule amount of people on that scale. But let me show you what we're working with. You see, 25% of the people in New York State that should vote are not registered. That's 4 million people. 8 million people did not vote 2014. They will not vote 2018 unless something dramatic happens. And so now you look at, this is our pool, this is our market. We have to market to these people. Forget about the people that are still voting Democrat and Republican. They're still emotionally tied to those that you're not going to get anywhere without just getting into an argument. So focus on the people that already left the parties, didn't vote, the people that haven't registered. And the people that are still registered, they're at least concerned. The people that haven't registered, they walked away. You got to turn them around and bring them back, and that's a lot of work. So we have a market, and I want to show you what our actual working for is. These little blue lines over the side, this is what Cuomo actually won with in terms of the total population of New York State, 11.7%. The Republicans are only 7.8%. So it's not a very hard target to meet. We do a 10-fold vote increase, which we did several times over the years. 10 votes per registered Libertarian. That's 2 million votes. 2 million votes will put us up here. Will put us at least even with the Democrats. 2.2 million put us over the Democrats. They only had 2.1 million votes. So a 10-fold increase we've done many times. Votes per registered voter, registered Libertarian. That is an achievable goal. Down in New York City, how many people from New York City are here? South of Bronx. Okay. You guys should own New York City. And this is the reason. If you look at those charts, Libertarians here, the Republicans there, the Democrats there, almost nobody in the Green, almost nobody in the Republican. Everyone down there psychologically is Libertarian or Democrat. They split along the approach. We share the approach with the Democrats. And if we just start focusing on the fact that people should be allowed to live their life any way they choose, where we differ with the Democrats is that the Democrats want to empower them to live their life by taking some money from Dave and giving it to Shauna, taking some money from Ron, giving it to Chris, and they're going to basically redistribute the wealth so you can live your life any way you want. We want to take and have you live your life any way you want, except we want you to be able to earn your money and then keep the money. Nobody's going to take it from you, and when you decide what you want to do with it, it's yours. And so we want to empower you by allowing you to keep your money, keep your property. We have to get rid of the real estate tax, because the real estate tax guarantees that any poor person that saves to try to get a piece of property, they're gone, because they will lose it to the city or the state. And, you know, so we want to empower people differently, but we share the same goal. And when we start realizing that we have a campaign strategy for New York City, and we will take it, we will end up owning it. We're running a little late, and I'd like to change gears here at the moment. Does everybody want a break?